If you're not ready to hear the truth, stop here. The world does not run on goodness. The world runs on perception, fear, control, and timing. 500 years ago, one man wrote this clearly: Niccolò Machiavelli. He understood humans as they are, not as they should be. And history has proven him right again and again. For example, Napoleon Bonaparte, the world calls him a great strategist because he won. If he had lost, he would have been called a tyrant. That is the rule of the world. In this series, you will learn 8 things. Today, the 8 rules we will talk about are: 1. Image is more powerful than truth. 2. Fear is necessary for respect. 3. Limit your trust. 4. Too much goodness becomes weakness. 5. Victory changes the truth. 6. Show weakness, hide strength. 7. Keep enemies close. 8. Live your life for yourself. If you understand these rules, you will see the world as it really is, and that understanding can turn you from a weak person into a dangerously intelligent one. Rule 1. Image is more powerful than truth. People don't see you, they see your image. No one can look inside your mind. No one can read your intentions. People only see how you speak, how you walk, how you look, how you behave in front of others. That becomes their truth. That is why many times in the world, appearance succeeds more than reality. If you are good but look weak, people will consider you weak. If you are afraid inside but appear confident, people will consider you strong. The rule of the world is simple. Not reality, but perception wins. The one who controls their image controls people's minds, and the one who controls people's minds wins the game. Rule 2. Fear is necessary for respect. Love is good, but love is not permanent. Fear is more stable. Someone may like you, but still ignore you. But if they fear consequences, they will not ignore you. This may sound cruel, but it is practical truth. Imagine a leader who is always soft, never strict. People will like them, but they won't listen. Now imagine a calm but strict leader who speaks little, but when they do, rules are enforced. People may not love them, but they will respect them. And in the world, respect is more useful than love. Fear does not mean violence. Fear means clarity of consequences. When people know there will be consequences for crossing a line, they do not cross it. That is power. Rule 3. Limit your trust. The greatest betrayal often doesn't come from enemies. It comes from those you let inside. Because they know you. They know your weaknesses. They know your fears. And information is real power. History has shown this again and again. The most dangerous attack does not come from the front, but from behind. So the rule is simple. Trust, but not completely. Every person can change. Every relationship can change. Every loyalty can break. This is not pessimism. It is protection. A person who learns to protect themselves cannot be easily destroyed. Rule 4. Too much goodness becomes weakness. If you always say yes, the value of your yes disappears. If you are always available, people begin to see you as a resource. The world values rare things, and if you are always good, you are no longer rare. Then people use you. This truth is bitter but very clear. Goodness becomes power only when it is selective. When you decide when to help, when to refuse, who to stand for, then your goodness becomes respect. Otherwise, it becomes a habit, and habits are not respected. Stop. This is the part where most people become uncomfortable, and the ones who stay until here are the ones who truly understand how the world works. In the first part, you understood 4 things: the power of image, the respect of fear, limited trust, and controlled goodness. But they were only the beginning. Now we are moving to the rules that actually decide power, victory, and control. These 4 rules will teach you how victory changes truth, when showing weakness becomes a weapon, how enemies are controlled, and finally, how to become the owner of your own life. If you have come this far, don't turn back now, because what comes next can change the way you see the world. Rule 5. Victory changes the truth. The world is influenced less by morality and more by results. People say, do the right thing, but history says the one who wins becomes right. That is the most dangerous truth. Napoleon Bonaparte caused the deaths of millions of people in wars. He broke nations apart. He changed politics. Yet, he is called a great strategist. Why? Because he kept winning for a long time. If the same person had lost in the beginning, history would have called him a monster. That is the rule of the world. Outcome is bigger than morality. This rule is deeply embedded in the human mind. When someone wins, people forget their mistakes, justify their story, turn their strategy into wisdom. But when someone loses, even their goodness becomes worthless. Their principles become a joke. Their efforts disappear. This does not mean become wrong. It means don't be naive. Results are more important than idealism, because the world remembers results, not intentions. Rule 6. Show weakness, hide strength. Obvious strength makes people cautious. Hidden strength keeps people unaware. And an unaware person always makes mistakes. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, "When people underestimate you, you have the most freedom." Think about it. If everyone knows you are dangerous, everyone will avoid you. But if people think you are weak, they lower their guard. And that is the opportunity. This rule is not about fighting. It is about timing and illusion. Real strength is often quiet. It does not make noise. A person who constantly shows their strength becomes predictable over time, and a predictable person is easy to defeat. But a person who hides their strength becomes unpredictable, and an unpredictable person is dangerous. So sometimes speaking less, appearing less, reacting less is not weakness, it is strategy. Rule 7. Keep enemies close. A distant enemy is unknown. A close enemy can be read. A person is safer from what they can see. It is not always possible to eliminate an enemy, but it is always possible to understand them. When an enemy is close, their moves become visible. Their weakness becomes visible. Their fear becomes visible. And that information becomes power. Ignoring an enemy does not destroy them, it only hides them, and hidden danger is the most dangerous kind. So wise people do not run from enemies, they understand them. Sometimes keeping an enemy close is safer than winning a fight, because information creates control, and control is real power. Rule 8. Live your life for yourself. This final rule is the quietest, but also the heaviest. Most people do not live their own lives. They live for their family's expectations, society's approval, other people's opinions. Slowly, they move away from themselves, and one day they realize they never lived for themselves at all. That is the greatest defeat. Power does not only mean controlling others, the hardest control is over yourself. When you decide what you want, what you don't want, who you don't need to please, you become free. People will always say something, always judge, always try to stop you. But in the end, you are the one who has to live the result of your life, no one else. So the final rule is simple: live for yourself, without apology. Final thought. Now you have seen all 8 rules. These rules are not good or bad, they are simply real. People who understand them see the world differently. They are betrayed less, used less, and stay more in control. Everyone else just keeps hoping the world will be fair. But the world is not fair. The world is practical. And the person who understands this changes the game. If you've read this far, it means you don't think like the crowd. So don't just move on without thinking. If uncomfortable truths like this make you think, like this story. And if you want to understand human behavior, power, and psychology, don't forget to subscribe. Because in the next story, we will talk about how to influence people without them knowing.